Hello, Bronco fans and football fans everywhere. Welcome to Broncos Breakdown on the MHRT Network. This is a show that is everything Broncos and sports topics related. I am your host, Bronco Bill. Man, all I can say is I am glad that the preseason's right around the corner. Regular season is about a month away, a little over a month away. I can't wait. And the main reason why I can't wait, because I have a lot more Bronco topics than I have in basically this entire off season. And that's the way it is. But the Broncos did have a lot of topics this off season. New ownership, new coaching staff, franchise quarterback in a trade. Yeah, there's been some stuff, but thank goodness we had that to talk about. Let's get right into it. I'm going to start out with non-Bronco talk, but it's only one segment. Here it is. Julio Jones has signed a one-year deal to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. Jones will be joined by wide receivers Mike Evans, Chris Goodwin, and Russell Gage. Jones' contract is worth $6 million as a base salary and could go up to $8 million. Well, that's great. Good for Julio Jones. In my opinion, gives him a chance to win a Super Bowl. He hasn't had that opportunity, and he definitely has that now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady. One of the reasons I feel that Julio Jones, obviously he wanted to go to a championship caliber team, and he has that with Tampa Bay. I think the reason why the Buccaneers signed him is because they lost Rob Gronkowski to retirement. Now, Julio Jones is no Rob Gronkowski. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you're going to lose a key piece like a Rob Gronkowski, you need to fill it with somebody who has potential, even at the wide receiver, the slot position, whatever it may be. That's why I feel Tampa Bay signed Julio Jones. I wish him all the best. I don't want him to win a Super Bowl because I want Denver to. But I think it's good for Julio Jones to have that opportunity to go to Super Bowl because you have Tom Brady as your quarterback. Okay, now the rest is all Broncos stuff. So let's get right to it. Okay, Paul Duncan, former NFL player, and this is a sad note, guys. This is a very sad note. And like I've said before, I hate to continually bring up these sad notes and these sad segments and topics when it's such a very, very young age. I have to do it again. I'm getting tired of it. It's almost every week now. In every one of my shows, it seems like I'm constantly talking about a young former NFL player that has passed away. Former NFL player who had a brief stint with the Denver Broncos has passed away at the age of 35. Denver signed him as an undrafted free agent. He passed away after going into cardiac arrest while on a run in his neighborhood. Well, I mean, it's been hot everywhere, people. It's been hot in Southern California where I am. Humidity's been high. They constantly tell you in the weather report to drink lots of fluids, to stay hydrated. Now, I'm not saying that Paul Duncan wasn't hydrated. I'm not saying that he wasn't doing the things that he should be doing. I'm just saying that it is very, very sad. Age 35 and have cardiac arrest while on a run in his neighborhood. I don't know what the temperature was then. I don't know what the humidity was. I don't know if there's any underlying conditions. That's irrelevant only because I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not going to assume. I'm just saying it's extremely sad. Age 35, former NFL player. And I know he's been out of the league for a while and he wasn't in the league that long, but it doesn't matter how long you've been in the league. You're in training. You're building your body. You're building your stamina. You're building your muscles, your endurance. I just am tired of having to bring these topics of former NFL players who are passing away at such young age. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And my heart goes out to his family. Absolutely. It goes out to the people he touched in college, or the brief stint in Denver, or just amongst the NFL in general. My heart goes out. My condolences go out to the family. It's very, very sad. And I hate bringing these stories. I hate doing it. I can ignore them. I can absolutely ignore them. But it's newsworthy, and it's sad, and it's things that somehow, some way we need to understand. We being the NFL, I'm saying, not that I'm part of the NFL, but you know what I'm saying. As a fan, they need to take care of these players after they're out of football. They should have good, solid insurance. I mean, their body's taking a beating. Literally, from head to toe, their body is taking a beating, and they need to have constant medical awareness or evaluation or some sort. I really believe that. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm not saying that could have prevented what happened here. I'm just saying something needs to be done, because there are way too many former NFL players passing away at such a very, very young age. Okay, let's go to Billy Turner and Randy Gregory. The Denver Broncos are placing two key players on the active yet physically unable to perform list, or better known as PUP, ahead of training camp. Gregory has a shoulder injury and Turner has a knee injury. Gregory has a 5-year contract while Turner has a 1-year contract. Both players can be elevated off the list anytime before the regular season begins. Both are expected to be available at the start of the season. Now, that is great news, because I like Billy Turner. I do. I don't know about Randy Gregory. He's been suspect with injuries and signing a 5-year contract. Really? 5-year contract on damaged goods. I sure hope George Payton sees beyond what I'm seeing, because what I'm seeing is injury prone, on the injured list, not playing, not contributing, but getting that money. That bothers me. That bothers me a lot. On the heels of, let me see where I'm at here. Sorry, guys. On the heels of on the Randy Gregory and Billy Turner going to the PUP list, Cameron Fleming. Now, Denver Broncos have re-signed Cameron Fleming, according to Tom Pelissero of NFL.com. To make room, the Broncos cut linebacker Kadolfi Wright. Fleming, age 29, joins Tom Compton and Billy Turner, there's that name again, as vets vying for the 2022 right edge spot. Calvin Anderson is also in the mix, but Compton's experience and Turner's familiarity with Coach Hackett make Anderson on the outside looking in. The reason why I put this on the heels of the Randy Gregory and Billy Thompson segment is because they're on the PUP, physically unable to perform list. Okay, that means Cameron Fleming is going to get a lot of reps in training camp, and that's good, because he is trying to fill a spot that both Turner and Tom Compton are vying for. Well, now with Billy Turner on the PUP list, all Cameron Fleming has to do is beat out Tom Compton, which I don't think is going to be a problem. I really don't think it's going to be a problem. I like the re-signing. I love the re-signing. Absolutely. It provides depth. It provides experience. And it gets the other players that want that spot to elevate their game, elevate their practice, elevate their whatever they got to do, their training, whatever it is. They need to elevate, have somebody to push them. Well, now they got Cameron Fleming back, and I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, let's go to ownership. Ownership is a lot closer. Here it is. The NFL's Finance Committee has given the sale of the Denver Broncos to the Walton Penner Family Ownership Group the green light ahead of the final approval from the NFL team owners. Most believe the final vote will take place on August 9th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. 24 owners of the 31 other owners, because you can't count the Broncos, there's 32 teams in the NFL, but the Broncos can't vote. So 24 owners of the 31 other owners will need to approve. I don't see a problem. I absolutely do not see a problem with this at all. And I'll tell you why. Main reason? Back to that money thing. Rob Walton, by himself, is worth $70 billion. That's with a B, guys. $70 billion, as in Broncos net worth. I don't think the owners are going to say, come on, guys. We don't want a wealthy owner. We don't want somebody like that who can change things, who can move mountains with the money. No, we don't want that. Come on. You believe that? I don't. Absolutely, I do not. Come on, you got a wealthy guy in Jerry Jones, for heaven's sake. I mean, a guy built his own stadium. No money from Texas at all. No money from Dallas. No outside money whatsoever. You know, like in bonds or things of that nature. I mean, may have had investment groups, but it didn't come from the general public. That's for sure. And he's basically built, I don't know what you want to call it, a Montrose, an empire, a stadium, a facility like that. Come on, man. You don't think that the NFL owners would welcome and love doing cartwheels to have a Rob Walton with his money and the people he's brought on this team? Condoleezza Rice, for her knowledge, I know she's a political background, but he probably brought her in, like I said, for in a couple shows past, for her knowledge in dealing with things. She was the Secretary of State for Bush. She had to negotiate a lot of things. She had to do a spin on the topics or whatever. She had to spin it her way. I think that was a good move. Absolutely a good move. And I think the owners, the 24 out of the 31 owners, if it's not unanimous, it's going to shock the heck out of me. Absolutely going to shock the heck out of me if it's not unanimous. Why would you say no? Why would you say no? So I absolutely cannot wait until August 9th. It's right around the corner, guys. Once that happens, well, a lot of other things could happen. And I'm going to get into those topics too in this show. So that was one step closer to being finalized as Rob Walton Penner Family Ownership Group. One step closer to being official. Okay, let's go to, let's see here. Let's go to new uniforms. And this comes along right on the heels of the last topic, the last segment. And that was the ownership is one step closer. Reason why I say that is this. A lot of people, I'm going to say this before I get in the article. A lot of people want a new new uniform, new logo for the Denver Broncos. And I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to give my opinion after I read this. But here's the article on new uniforms. There are a number of NFL teams debuting alternate helmets and uniforms for the 2022 NFL season. However, the Broncos won't be one of them. Andrew Mason of KOA said, and I quote, "I believe the Broncos need new jerseys, new logo after the current one has been with the team and their look since 1997. Things will take time, but I'd imagine the wheels will be in motion for these changes, much needed changes, in my opinion. End quote. Andrew, totally disagree. Totally disagree. Here's why. I've stated many times. Why go backwards? Why change a good thing? Seriously, why change a good thing? I know I've mentioned before that the Broncos have never won a Super Bowl with any other jersey and any other color scheme and any other design and any other logo than they have right now. I've also had people say, well, logos and uniforms and colors and stuff, they don't win you championships. No, they don't. But I'm going to tell you something that Neil Smith revealed before he signed with the Broncos. And this is actual fact, guys. You can look it up. I don't have it in front of me, but I saw it earlier. I was going over all of my my notes and things. He said this. He was excited to come to Denver, not only because of John Elway and Mike Shanahan and Gary Kubiak and all the defense with Wade Phillips. That was the main reason why I wanted to come. But he also said that he wanted and couldn't wait to get into that uniform of the Denver Broncos, the dark jersey, the white pants, the dark helmet, the stripe down the leg that comes up around by the thigh, the logo. He said he would think twice, which shocks me, but he said this. He would think twice about really wanting to embrace the old school uniform with the orange jersey and the powder blue helmet with the D. I totally agree. Absolutely, totally agree. That doesn't look aggressive enough to me. Doesn't look, I don't want to use the word mean, because I don't want this is not about a thug competition. This is not about, who can look meaner than this. But you don't see, okay, look, let's take the old Patriot helmet. And I know that they're going back to that this year as their alternate helmet. And I like that helmet, but it's not aggressive. The helmet that they had before showed a Patriot bending over with the football between his, like he was a center. Okay? All right, getting ready to hike the ball. That's cool. It's football related. But their logo now is more aggressive. It has that Patriot look with the flare coming off the back, the red, white, and blue flare. It's got looks like a more aggressive, more focused, more passionate look. Look, the Atlanta Falcons have that falcon on the side, the mean one. The Carolina Panthers, same way. The only ones, in my opinion, that look stupid, have nothing to do with aggressiveness, are the Cleveland Browns and the LA Chargers. Colts, also, they just got a horseshoe. Don't look that mean. Doesn't look that aggressive. Doesn't look that focused. But I digress. Anyways, that's the main reason why I don't want a uniform change. I like this uniform. I like this logo. I really, really do. I love to have the all blues as their home uniform, top to bottom. Dark jersey, dark pants, that orange pops. I mean, look at this shirt right here. Doesn't that orange just pop? The blue wouldn't pop like that if it was reversed. Orange jersey and blue? No, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. And then you've got alternate jerseys like the Bears that are going to all orange. And then you got the Cleveland Browns that's kind of like a weird orange. And then you got Miami Dolphins and they throw in an orange and alternate every now and then. No, I don't like that. And I could go on and on and on about this. I'm not going to. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so I kind of saved you guys from that ranting and raving. All right, let's go to Let's go to Hall of Fame is closer for 3 former Broncos. Here it is. The Hall of Fame committee has reduced the number of eligible candidates down to 24 finalists. That's 12 from the senior and 12 from the coach. Mike Shanahan, Dan Reeves, and Randy Gradishar have made it to the finals. Next step is to be selected and a member of the class of 2023. Now, this is not for this class, guys. That class is coming up, but this isn't, or I should say that class was already there. Hall of Fame kickoff football game. August. When? I'm confused, guys. I'm sorry. So the Hall of Fame is, in other words, the Hall of Fame for these guys potentially is not until 2023. That means Randy Gradishar, Mike Shanahan, and Dan Reeves have a chance. But it's going to be tough for all 3, let alone 2 of the 3 to get in. I mentioned this on my last show. I don't feel that Dan Reeves is going to get in this year at all. Even if he was the only one of the 3 that was eligible, I don't feel Dan Reeves would get in this year. Too many other qualified people like Don Coryell and others. Mike Shanahan. I just don't feel Dan Reeves will make it. So excluding him, between Randy Gradishar and Mike Shanahan, well, one can get in as a coach, one could get in as a player or former player. That I see very possible. If that is not going to happen, and there's only one of those 2, Gradishar or Shanahan, I would like to see Randy Gradishar because he has been out of the league longer than Mike Shanahan has. Absolutely longer than Mike Shanahan. And Randy Gradishar was the heart and soul of that Orange Crust defense. He was smack dab in the middle. He did some amazing plays in stopping runners that would jump over the top or would go around the edge. Gradishar had speed. A lot of people don't remember that. Gradishar had some wheels, guys. And he could run down. And boy, when he hit you, woo-wee, you knew it. You knew you just got hit by a freight train. And that freight train, Randy Gradishar. Absolutely. I would love to see both Gradishar and Shanahan in at the same season, same year. I just don't think that's going to happen. So I'm hoping that Randy Gradishar absolutely makes it. We won't know until I think it's August 16th is when they decide who is going into the 2023 class of the Hall of Fame. I wish Randy Gradishar all the best. Oh, I wish Mike Shanahan and Dan Reeves all the best. Just not ahead of Randy Gradishar. All right. Next topic. Day 1 training camp kicked off on Tuesday. Now, I know this is Friday, but it kicked off a few days ago. Let me tell you what happened. Russell Wilson and Cortland Sutton shine, but Jerry Jeudy and Melvin Gordon have a very tough day. Sutton seems to be Wilson's favorite receiver as he made an in route, eluded the defenders, and scored a touchdown. Jeudy, however, caught a would-be touchdown only to have the ball ripped away and picked off in midair. Gordon didn't see much reps as Williams, Mike Boone, and Demaria Crockett were all 3 ahead of Melvin Gordon. That's not sitting well with Melvin Gordon. I guarantee you that's not sitting well with him. But he has to understand that he is I wouldn't say a backup, but he's an asset. He's not going to be the number 1 running back. That's going to go to Williams, Devontae Williams. Absolutely. He's younger. He's got more pep. But Gordon has that power. And I think Gordon would be really good down the red zone. I really do. Short yardage, maybe 46-yard line, 45-yard line. You're too really close to punt, but you're actually too far away to kick a field goal. So you run Melvin Gordon. He's got that 1-2 punch up the middle. That's great. But Devontae Williams, he's got that. It reminds me of Terrell Davis a lot, where Terrell Davis would take a hit and just bounce off and keep going. And Devontae Williams reminds me of that. I mean, go back to last year's game where he's dragging players for 20 yards. I believe it was the Baltimore Raven game, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I believe it was. But in any case, it doesn't matter what team it was. That's impressive to drag several players 15, 20 yards like he did. So Melvin Gordon is just going to have to understand that he's an understudy. He's a compliment. A compliment. Absolutely. Not taking anything away from Melvin Gordon. And he shouldn't think any different. What he should think, in my opinion, is do whatever he can to leapfrog over a Mike Boone or a Demaria Crockett. Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way you're going to get to be number 2 in running back. Absolutely. The only way you're going to be number 2. Because everybody knows Devontae Williams is going to be the featured running back. Okay. Let's go to segment involving the future of Russell Wilson. George Paton, general manager of the Denver Broncos, said he is not concerned about a contract extension for Russell Wilson. He did, however, say, and I quote, "We all want Russell here a long time. Out of respect to our team, we're going to keep it in-house. Any decisions we may or may not have, may or may not have, will stay in-house. I have a really good relationship with Russ's agent, Mark Rogers, and at the right time, we'll get a deal done. As much as Wilson would want to get locked up for many years to come, he said," and I quote again, this is Russell Wilson, "As for my contract goal, it's not the contract, but my sole focus is winning a Super Bowl for the Denver Broncos," end quote. Okay, George Paton. I think George Paton's looking at a couple of things. First off, he doesn't know how much money he can throw around. I mean, the Broncos right now still have the trust in place. That's not a done deal yet, guys. Sure, it's a step closer, but it's not a full done deal. And I think George Paton is saying to Russell Wilson and to his agent or whomever, hey, let's put the brakes on this right now, okay? Because we don't know for concrete proof if the ownership group is going to be accepted. Yes, we're one step closer. Yes, it's been approved by the finance committee, but it hasn't been approved by the NFL owners, 24 of which 24 have to approve out of 31. Mentioned that a little earlier. Okay, maybe George Paton is saying, listen, I don't know how much money I can offer Russell Wilson because I don't know how much money I'm going to be allowed to spend on a person like Russell Wilson for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. Don't know. Maybe Russell Wilson be happy with $45 million a year. How many years? 5? That's a lot of money, guys. And if you don't know what you can spend, how do you go out on a limb and promise somebody, have him sign a contract, and then come back and the owner's like, what are you? What's wrong with you? Why would you have that kind of contract? I mean, it starts from the top down. Yes, George Paton has a lot of leeway. That's true. He has signed some players. Not the caliber and the money that a Russell Wilson is going to garnish. I think the other point is we don't know what Russell Wilson's going to do this year. What if he goes out there and, guys, I hate saying this, but I got to be forthright. I got to be truthful. What if Russell Wilson goes out there and he has a 7-10 season? Are you going to offer him that $45 million a year? Really? Based on what? Well, he's still got the finger injury, the thumb injury, whatever. I mean, after all, he can get past that. Had a whole offseason. He's throwing the ball really well down the field. I've watched his practices. I've watched his sessions with his wide receivers. I've watched video of him throwing the ball deep. Doesn't look like it's that big of a deal. I'm not saying the Broncos are going to have a 7-10 season, guys. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is what if. So maybe George Paton is saying, you know what? I'm going to see what you can do. I'm going to see what you bring to the Denver Broncos, what this team produces, what the coaching staff, how they draw up plays, how Russell Wilson changes on the line like a Peyton Manning did, call the correct play for the defense, how it all works out. Maybe that's what he's saying. Maybe that's what he's thinking. But as of right now, George Paton is not concerned. Now, on the heels of that is the Russell Wilson side of it. Russell Wilson has sent a strong message to the rest of the AFC West. Russell said, and I quote, "I'm super focused and lasered in. Everybody is so locked in. Guys are lasered in, ready to work, willing to do everything that we have been doing all OTAs and all summer long." End quote. He went on to say, and I quote, "We've got a championship kind of football team, and we are excited about that. The exciting part about that is now it's time to just go, show up, and prove it." End quote. Think Russell Wilson's worried about a contract? I don't. Absolutely, I don't. And I don't because he knows he needs to be focused. He just said it. I just said it in his quote. "I'm super focused and lasered in." End quote. That's what he said. And if he's super focused and lasered in, and he can see that in the rest of the team, offense, defense, special teams, coaching staff, whatever. If he sees that, you mean to tell me that he is thinking about finances? Come on, he's still got 2 years left on the deal he signed in Seattle, which is no chump change, guys. That's not chump change. It's like $25 million a year. Yeah, it's low on the totem pole of franchise quarterbacks in the NFL, sure. It ain't low on my totem pole, that's for sure. Absolutely. I'll take 250,000 right now. Not to be an NFL player, but you know what I'm saying, guys. He's not concerned about it. He's getting paid. He's getting his money. He's doing okay. I mean, really, he's not concerned. He knows it'll get done. George Paton knows it'll get done. I think on George Paton's side, like I mentioned a little bit ago, George Paton is needing to know how much he can spend, what the ownership group's going to allow him to do, and two, what kind of production is Russell Wilson on the field in the 2022 season. That's how I see it. And I think Russell Wilson could care less about the not restructuring, but about the new contract extension. At this point in time, I really seriously doubt Russell Wilson is that concerned. All right, guys. To Kyler Murray. This one bothers me, guys. This one upsets me greatly. And before I get into the actual article, I'm going to preface it by saying this. Since when do employees tell the employer what to do? Here's the article, and then I'll get into what I think about it. The Arizona Cardinals have decided enough is enough with the homework clause in Murray's contract. Murray claimed it was disrespectful and a joke. The Cardinals management said, and I quote, "After seeing the distraction it created, we removed the referendum from the contract." End quote. And before I continue, what? Okay, so it was a distraction? And so you backed out of what you put in the contract because that's what you want your quarterback to do? You want him to pay more attention to the team, the playbook, and the focus on the next game than playing his freaking video games because he's really good at it. So what? So what if you're good at it? Let me continue, and then I'm gonna say some more things, and then you guys comment. Let me know what you think. And I continue. The contract in part included that Murray, this is key here. The contract in part included that Murray was required to spend at least 4 hours a day? Nope. 4 hours in every 2 days? Nope. 4 hours each week watching game film. Are you serious? Kyler Murray was that upset that the contract said that he had to spend at least 4 hours each week in game film. Hey, Murray, did you ever go to college? Did you ever study? Well, maybe you didn't. Most people do. Most people who go for a career study at what that career is. Now, I'm not saying you don't know the playbook. I'm not saying you don't have a grasp of how football is played, because obviously you do. But when a team is asking you to spend at least 4 hours a freaking week at game film, is that too much to ask? Obviously so. And you even had the audacity, Kyle Murray, to say that you said it's something he called, something he, meaning Kyle Murray, something Kyle Murray called disrespectful and almost a joke. Murray's contract is worth 5 years, $230 million. So what? So what if it's worth that much? Here's my take on this whole thing, okay? Here's my take. Like it or not, this is my take. If you want to be part of an organization, you want to be part of a company, you're working for, I don't know, Costco, Walmart, Rob Walton. Okay, Costco, Walmart, whatever. You're working for a company, working for a construction company, working for a business, whatever. And they put something in the contract you don't like, you don't sit there and tell them no, take that out. Don't do it. That's disrespectful, blah, blah. No, they'll look at you and tell you, there's the door, head on. NFL's different because they cave in to people with talent. That's not the way it's supposed to be. The employees don't run the employer. The employees don't run the asylum. If you don't like what management is doing, then leave. They're not going to change unless you're in a union. And I know the NFL is in a union, but this is not a union issue. This is a contract issue. If I were to go into a job like I had when I was working in the school district, and there was a contract, and I read the contract, and I didn't like what it was, I'm not going to go, I don't like that, it's disrespectful, and it's a joke. They would say, yeah, well, you know what the joke is? The joke is that we were really going to hire you. That's the joke. But it doesn't work that way in the NFL, and that's what angers me to no end. You got the Deshaun Watson situation. He's running that show. Now you got Kyle Murray. He's running the Cardinals. What's next? Heaven forbid this happens with the Denver Broncos, because I will absolutely lose my freaking mind. I'm losing it now because this is not right. So basically, he has forced the Arizona Cardinals to reiterate, take something out of a contract that they want him to follow. They want him to read and watch game film. 4 hours a week. Is that hard? I bet he spends more time watching stupid something on TV. Oh, never mind. He's always playing video games, bro. Forget it. So maybe that's how he's studying the playbook, by playing video games. Am I irate about this? Yes. Is it my team that I cheer for? Absolutely not. But it's a ugly precedent. Ugly precedent that could have rippling effects for every single major contract down the road for a franchise quarterback. It's happened in Cleveland, and now it's happening in Arizona. What's the next team to have the domino fall? because the quarterback doesn't want to comply by what's in the rules. Well, guess what? You're not a freaking prima donna. You're not. You're not special. Even though you think you are, you're not. And if this wave of prima donna players being able to overturn, basically, wipe out certain things in contracts, we have a very serious issue when it comes to the integrity of the NFL. That's all I'm saying, guys. That's all I'm saying. Let's hope this doesn't continue with other teams in the NFL. Guys, let's go to the last segment. And if you notice, the last segment, I'm going to tell you right now, last segment is not Colorado Avalanche update. Nope. It's all Broncos this show. And here's the last segment, guys. Here's an interesting tidbit. On the heels of Russell Wilson, being focused and lasered in, listen to this. This is interesting, and I'm going to go out with this segment. 3 out of the last 4 quarterbacks to change teams after recording 250 plus touchdowns with their initial team have gone on to win the Super Bowl. The lone exception, love this too. The lone exception, ex-Charger quarterback Phillip Rivers. You know I love that because I can't stand Phillip Rivers, and I still can't stand the Chargers. So that makes me happy. If you're wondering, Russell Wilson threw 292 scoring strikes in Seattle. You think the Broncos have a chance? It didn't say in his first year. Now remember, Peyton Manning came from the Indianapolis Colts. He threw for over 250 touchdowns in his time with Indy. And he won a Super Bowl in Denver. That article did not say the first year. It just said 3 out of the 4 quarterbacks that threw for 250 plus touchdowns in their initial team that went to another team won the Super Bowl. I know Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and I don't know the third one. I can't think of that. Oh, the most recent one, LA Rams. That's who. That's the third one. LA Rams. He came from Detroit. I can't remember his name. I don't really care because I don't like the Rams either. Anyways, came from Detroit, went to the Super Bowl, won it last year. Peyton Manning from Indianapolis to Denver, won it, Super Bowl 50, banner hanging right about, which way is it? Right back there. And Tom Brady. Those are the 3. The one not included. Love it. That's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. I'll greatly appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that like button. Whatever you got to do, hit all them buttons. It's great. We love your watching, your patronage of the network. And before I get out of here, let me remind you of the other shows on the MHRT Network. On Tuesday, it's a 5280 podcast. That goes live every 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's hosted by Mundungus Creevy, his good friend Glenn Hauser, Boggins, Bree, and Cam. That's, like I said, Tuesday, 4, 5, 6, and 7, live. Then on Wednesday, you have the Wild Wild West, and that features a fan from every AFC West team: Broncos, Raiders, Chargers, and Chiefs. That goes live, I should say, every 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, and 7:30. And then on Friday, once again, this show, Broncos Breakdown with Bronco Bill, myself, Bronco Bill, drops every Friday, 11 a.m., 12, 1, and 2. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And we will talk to you next Friday at the very same time. Till then, guys, take care.